It's just after 6 in the morning on January 29, 2022, and snow is falling hard over Canton, Massachusetts. A woman is screaming into a phone, begging for help, saying she thinks her boyfriend is dead. Officers arrive at a home in Canton and find Boston police officer John O'Keefe lying in the snow, unresponsive, badly injured. He is pronounced dead a short time later. The woman who found him is his girlfriend, Karen Reed, a financial analyst who had first dated O'Keefe years earlier, then rekindled the relationship during the pandemic. She tells police they had been drinking at 2 local bars the night before, then dropped him off at the Canton home of fellow officer Brian Albert for an after-party she was never invited inside. Investigators quickly focus on Reed herself. Prosecutors allege she struck O'Keefe with her SUV in a drunken rage and left him to die in the storm. Her defense tells a very different story, one of a police cover-up claiming O'Keefe was actually killed inside that house and his body was later placed outside to frame her. At the center of the investigation is Massachusetts State Trooper Michael Proctor, the lead detective assigned to the case. As the case moves toward trial, Proctor's own conduct becomes a scandal of its own. Text messages surface showing him mocking Reed in vulgar, deeply unprofessional language while the investigation was still active. He is later fired from the state police over his conduct. In 2024, Reed's first murder trial ends without a verdict, the jury unable to agree, and the judge declares a mistrial. The case returns to court in 2025 for a second trial, drawing national attention and a massive online following convinced of her innocence. In June of 2025, a jury acquits Karen Reed of second-degree murder and manslaughter. She is convicted only of a lesser charge, operating under the influence, and sentenced to 1 year of probation, which quietly ends in June of 2026. For many watching, that verdict should have closed the book on this case. It does not. Even before the second trial concludes, John O'Keefe's family files a separate wrongful death lawsuit against Reed and against 2 Canton bars where she and O'Keefe had been drinking that night. The civil case moves slowly at first, delayed until the criminal proceedings are finished. But once it resumes, it becomes just as explosive as the trials themselves. Karen Reed is deposed under oath. So is Michael Proctor, still facing intense scrutiny over his role in the original investigation. Reed files her own lawsuit against the Massachusetts State Police and the Canton Police Department, accusing investigators of bias and misconduct during the case built against her. Then in June of 2026, the case takes a strange turn. Proctor, seeking to delay his own deposition, submits sensitive medical and family information to the court under seal. Information meant to stay private, seen only by the attorneys directly involved in the case. About 30 minutes after that sealed material is filed, nearly identical details appear publicly on social media. Someone has leaked it. Judge Mark Gildea, presiding over the civil case in Plymouth Superior Court, is furious. He orders an emergency hearing, demanding that every attorney involved in the case, 18 lawyers in total, appear in person without warning. Karen Reed herself sits in the courtroom that day alongside her parents, watching in silence. For 20 minutes, Gildea delivers a rare, pointed rebuke, calling the leak a malicious publication of private information and warning that the courtroom itself has become content, that the law itself has become spectacle. He reminds the room that even a deeply unpopular figure like Proctor still deserves fair and equal treatment under the law. He orders every lawyer present to file sworn certifications under penalty of perjury, stating whether they had any role in the leak. No one admits responsibility. The judge leaves the bench without taking a single question, offering no chance for the attorneys to respond. Outside the courthouse, lawyers on both sides decline to comment to waiting reporters. What began as one man's death on a snowy street in Canton has become something far larger, a sprawling web of lawsuits, depositions, and public scrutiny that shows no sign of slowing down. Colin Albert, a key witness from the original criminal trials, has still not been deposed in the civil case, his attorneys citing military training obligations that stretch into the fall. That delay forces Reed's legal team to fight in court just to compel his testimony. The next hearing in the case is already scheduled for July 10th, where a judge will decide how much further this legal battle is allowed to go. Karen Reed was acquitted of killing John O'Keefe. But more than 4 years after his death, the fight over what really happened outside that house in the snow is still far from over, playing out now not only in a courtroom, but across every corner of the internet. One hearing, one deposition, and one leaked document at a time.